I finally got my Rivers of Faith poster up on the ceiling to start a memory palace, and the first entry is Zoroaster. And I didn't realize he is often called the first named philosopher. And from that, I learned a new word and something that I thought was very funny about books and power and money. The word I learned from this is pseudepigrapha, which is falsely attributing one author's works to another author's name, usually one more ancient. And that's because Zoroaster, if he ever wrote anything down, and he probably didn't, none of it survived until today. But in the Library of Alexandria, according to Pliny, there were 2 million lines by Zoroaster. But that's odd, because he's a Roman, and no one before him in those thousands of years ever mentioned any writings by Zoroaster. So, who wrote those lines, and where did they come from? Of course, pseudepigrapha is rife through all of literary history, especially these magic books and grimoires. They were always attributing it to old people like Solomon, even though they came out in like the 1500s. Hell, in the 1700s, somebody wrote an alchemy text called Clavis Artis, and they said it was Zoroaster who had written it. Sometimes people did it to get extra money for book sales. Other times, I think they truly believed that the spirit was speaking through them and they needed the authority of that famous name to spread the teachings more widely. And sometimes I bet they were just dumb motherfuckers who believed they had something really important to say and then paid for vanity forgery editions at a printing press. But for those 2 million lines supposedly by Zoroaster, it was because there was a market for them. Because according to the 2nd century Galen of Pergamon, as well as a 6th century commentary on Aristotle, there were book mills who would publish forgeries like this because there were well-endowed royal libraries who had the budget to pay for them. Therefore, because there were well-endowed royal libraries, a market sprang up for the forging of famous and ancient manuscripts. And the funniest part to me is how all of this just continues today. Now there are paper mills because of the current scientific practice of publish or perish. There are places that will forge your papers for you and pollute the scientific discourse because of the model that we have in place right now to win points in the scientific game. This is a funny world, and it's one of the reasons I love books. They are as weird and twisted as we are.